Okay, hi guys. This is TheSirenSayz. This is also my commentary channel where I talk about movies, TV, and books, and the things that I like and dislike in that frame of media. Okay, disclaimers, it's just my personal opinion. I'm doing this for fun. If you want a university essay breakdown, there are other channels you can watch. Go ahead on. Now, let's just talk about this really quickly. I did not want to discuss this episode because it was pretty straightforward. I was glad that certain people said yes because I knew they were going to say yes. I didn't really care what other people had to say about them not making it. Now, them making it past saying yes, like, will they be together in the reunion? I have no idea for any of these people, and I mean any of them. But I knew that certain people felt okay enough in the moment to be comfortable and say yes. So that's what we're going to discuss now because that is what was happening. Alright, so overall thoughts on the episode. It was cute. It was a little annoying because they really tried to amp up the drama when really all that's happening is that couples that majority of people don't care about, majority of these couples that most people don't care about is going to be together or break up. So it was kind of hard to watch this because you don't really care. I think one thing that made the first season so good was that you were either really locked into the drama or you really cared about the couple. So when they did this whole dramatic who will say yes, who will say no thing, you were more likely to be put at the edge of your seat because it's like, ooh, will Lauren say yes to Cameron? Will Barnett say yes to Amber? Will Mark and Jessica stay together even though you know Jessica wants to get the hell away from him? Like, you know, like there's all those questions being thrown up in the air. And so I did think that season 1 had a cast of characters that people felt a little bit more attached to, whether in a negative or positive way, whereas with this season everyone's just acting so crazy that most people don't care about most characters anyway. And I'm saying characters because, you know, that's what they've become. You know, these are less people and more like total drama type reality stars, and like it's reality but it seemed fake type thing. I don't know, maybe we can bring it up, some of the stuff that has been happening outside of the scenes, the apologies by Micah and Irina, the, you know, knock if you buck, I'ma stand by what I said from Jacquelina, you know, Marshall defending his manhood with his life and Josh just sitting there all smug, like all of those things, right? Let's talk about Micah and Irina for 1 second. Micah crying about the way that she was portrayed. Let us talk about the concept of the villain edit. Talk about this when it comes to on my Sims channel, when it came to Married at First Sight Australia. No, Married at First Sight UK. Because in Married at First Sight, it's kind of similar to Love is Blind in terms of it being an experiment that has different phases. And, you know, cheating can happen, people can fall in and out of love. But a lot of people, there's always a villain in every single season at Married at First Sight. And people always want to complain about the villain edit, which is why you're going to hear a lot of people say, so-and-so got the villain edit. They're getting that because they watch Married at First Sight, and that's kind of what it's called at Married at First Sight, when somebody gets the unfavorable treatment. There is no such thing as a villain edit on a romantic television show. Let me repeat, this is my personal opinion. There is no such thing as a villain edit on a romantic reality show. When you are going on a show to find a life partner, there is no villain edit. There is, you decided to do whatever you felt like, and either thought because you have terrible people around you that enable you that it was normal, or you thought that people would have understood you, or you didn't think it was that bad, or you thought that they would have cared about your image and so they would have cut around certain things to make you look good. Don't be delusional. There was Olivia, Married at First Sight, shocked by the way that she was written, even though she has people in her life that can confirm that she actually does act like that. She lost her job because of the quote-unquote villain edit. I give this example all the time. If you had a conversation with somebody and you said, I don't like kids, I feel like they should all get unalived by alligators, and I think dogs are ugly, and I don't care if they get unalived by cars running over them. Even if you said both of those things in between, talking about how much you take care of your mom and how much you love your family and siblings, you still said two horribly heinous things, and they do still add to your character. And you want to know what? People are not a monolith, but doesn't mean you're not a villain. Ooh, guys, it doesn't matter how nice you are to your personal family. It doesn't matter how much you're able to turn off how disgusting you are when you're around your friends. If you are a bad person and it shows up, you're still a bad person. It doesn't matter how much stuff in between. Those things in between don't give context. They just show that the terrible parts of you is not all you. But if the terrible parts of you are terrible enough, then it doesn't matter what you said, because you didn't say anything to counteract what you just said. People who get villain edits love to say, I didn't say, or, okay, yes, I did say that about the children, but I didn't mean it like that, the context. And then when they tell you what was said before and after that, it's like, none of that crap you talking about even matters. You still said it, and you still kind of meant it. And then most of the time, it's like, oh, in terms of degrees, it's like not as bad, right? It's like 5 degrees less as heinous as they made it sound. 5 degrees is not that much when it comes to stuff like this. So before you cry, Micah and Irina, about a villain edit, remember you did this. Now I'll give Micah this. She tends to act like a villain when she's around villainous people, and she has a lot of villainous friends. So she tends to act villainous because of the people around her. She seems to be like a sponge. She's a follower. She likes to follow people, and she doesn't tend to follow good people unless that's all she's around. But if she's around a large group of personalities, she tends to gravitate towards villains. Girl, that's your problem. There are people who wouldn't even give you what I gave you. They won't even give you that much because they dislike you so much. And I can't blame them, ma'am. I can't blame them. Irina, I do not care how weird Zach is. I don't. Zach is stupid because he needs to take care of himself more, and he needs to think about what he wants better. But he's not a freak like all y'all niggas say. No, Zach is not the most attractive guy there. Of course not. We're not delusional. But you want to know why Bliss liked him? Because she's not shallow like you. Like, girl, and I'm not going to get on Irina's looks because I don't care. I didn't really think she was that ugly, but a lot of people got on her looks, and they were funny, because niggas be making jokes. But, Bliss is a beautiful person, and she has a beautiful heart. Sometimes Bliss can be a little judgmental, but hey, when she's being judgy, she ain't wrong. Just like her dad, he can be rude and judgmental, but when he judging, he ain't all the way wrong. So before they sit there and cry about, come on, if you were me, yes, if I was self-centered and shallow, and I had my own version of what cute looked like, I wouldn't come on the show. This is what I say about Married at First Sight and Love is Blind, because people who go on these shows tend to act like Jacquelina. Let's get into that. So what do I mean by that, right? Jacquelina liked to think that she had enough self-growth to pick what she needed instead of just going for what she wanted. I think I brought this up in my prior video. So probably Irina thought, oh, I'm a better person than I was a year ago. I'm sure I can get with somebody despite looks. And she couldn't. Same way Jacquelina thought, I can get with somebody who's not going to slap me around and rough me up. But she couldn't handle it. A lot of these people, men and women, think that they're grown enough or they've done enough self-work that they can fight their old addictions and habits and wants so that they can be sensible. It's like they're seeing what's in front of them and they're pretending that they're in a TV show, and they're thinking, well, if I was watching this TV show, I would tell the character to pick this person. I would tell the character that this does not matter. And so they try to act like the main character, and it doesn't end up working because they really just want what's perfect. I think what's so interesting is like if you haven't really worked on yourself, it'll show. I didn't really hear Bliss saying, I don't care how he looks. She just didn't care how he looked. She says Zach is attractive to her. She can believe that. But she isn't full of it that way. So she was able to get what she wanted and stick with it. All of y'all are not as mature, and yes, it's a level of maturity. I'll be honest, right? I wouldn't go on a show like this because even though what I find attractive is a large scale, right? It's not as short as some people's. There are many different skins, types, and features that can go into it. I would still be scared that, like, what if I find someone that's way off the radar that I'm not even like, you're not even a little cute? You're not even a little cute? Damn, like, I would be worried about that a little bit, so I wouldn't go. Everybody is allowed, you are allowed to be shallow, Irina. Some of women's most favorite characters are some of the most shallow people. But what people don't like is hypocrisy. When you act like you're not shallow, and then try to make up for the fact that you are shallow by claiming that these people have giant character flaws that make them uglier. Girl, you are the character flaw. You made yourself look ugly. The way people were lighting you up in these YouTube streets, Irina. You want to know why they were doing that? Not because you're actually as ugly as a dumpster. No, because looks are subjective. But because your heart was so ugly that people couldn't believe you had the gumption to say whatever it is that you said. Girl, do better. Ugh. And Micah, do not cry. Do not cry. I figured her out. She has popular girl syndrome. She's a follower, but she's also has popular girl syndrome. Because, you know, not everybody's a monolith. We are dichotomous as women. She picked Paul. Not because it was a slow burn. I think she lied about that. I think it wasn't as much of a slow burn as much as Paul wasn't as committed to this. And he wasn't giving her all of the affirmation that Kwame was giving her. Right? So the same way Kwame is not giving Chelsea everything that she needs, Paul was not giving Micah everything that she needs. And she was being roped and baited. She wanted Paul because he was acting unattainable. So she wanted to win. She wanted to be like, ooh, this guy who acts like he doesn't care cares about me. And when she ended up getting embarrassed on the wedding day and was crying, I was confused. I was like, girl, but you weren't even sure if you wanted to be with him. Why are you crying this hard? But then I realized she was hoping that everything that she did, and she was catching feelings for him and all that, she was hoping that the cool guy, even though he's not really that cool, the cool guy was finally going to pick her. And he didn't. And Paul, my God. Did you peep with that nigga? Paul said, I can't see her as a mom. I just can't. Like, I tried to envision it. I can't envision it. I was like, Paul, what is you talking about, bro? Damn. And he was talking about how he couldn't see himself being with her long term. Like, damn, you saw a booty call and that's it. Because here's what I thought initially. I thought, okay, he doesn't see himself saying yes right now, but he wants to date her off of the show and sees where it goes. Nah, he doesn't really see it. Which annoyed me. Not because I wanted to be together, but because I'm like, hey, what was the point of all of that? You're the one for me. You make me feel this on both of their parts. Because I feel like Micah didn't want him all the way either. What was the point of all of these lovely platitudes? Not that I believe them, but what's the point of saying them if that's not how you really feel? I feel like, show us more of that negative stuff. We don't always need to be surprised on these wedding days. You know what I mean? You can be honest and be honest about what it is that's going on. Excuse me. So I was just very annoyed by that. Not because I was shocked, but because I'm like, can I see the build up? Like the build up of Paul not seeing Micah as mother material or marriage material for real? Can I see the build up of whatever was going on in Micah's head instead of it just being obvious that they were both super unsure? And they kind of want to leave it like, well, we could end up back together. Absolutely not. Paul does not want that woman. I wouldn't be shocked if he called up Amber but didn't do it on the show like Zach did. Anyways, let's go on to the more positive sides, I guess. Kwame and Chelsea, I'm glad he said yes, because I don't want the women that look like me to go despacito in his DMs. Stay out of that man's DMs. You all deserve better, just like Chelsea deserves better. But hey, she taking one for the team, and I respect her for it. Next coupling, I don't think they're gonna be together by the reunion, and I don't care. Next coupling, Tiffany and Brett. Of course they're gonna say yes. I had no doubt in my mind they're gonna say yes. Brett was being a bit of a groomzilla, but you know, everybody was getting on Tiffany for calling him bougie. Brett, like, why would you do that? Why are you judging him? But then you see how he almost had a meltdown and almost cut his brother's head off because his pants were slack. Okay, leave Tiffany alone, please and thank you. She was being playful, but she wasn't lying. Anyways, of course they made it together. They're happy. They're loving it. Everybody. I personally don't know if they're gonna still be together after like 2-3 years, but I hope that they do stay together because it's a good look. It's a good look. However, somebody did mention that with the way he was speaking about his prior dating life, they're not sure if he usually dates women of the noir complexion and if he usually dated women of the palm colored complexion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my first Love is Blind video. I put up a little explanation of what noir and palm colored means. The palm of your hand colored, and noir like black people. Yeah. So yeah, and I thought to myself, that makes sense because somebody like Brett, I don't even know why he's on a show like this. Like, I'm sure there'll be millions of noir colored women that would gladly take him in, college or no college, because some noir women find him attractive. Not me, because as I explained before, it takes more than just muscles to attract me. But I'm sure he could have found somebody there. But if he's only going for women of the palm colored thing, usually, then I could see that he doesn't have much luck. I could see that. Some of you would disagree with me, but I think that's probably why he wasn't having luck before. He was trying to date women based on specific characteristics and looks, and it wasn't working for him. So luckily he got on this show so he could notice a woman of the noir complexion. Sorry to say, but I'm glad that it's working out for them, right? Because I'm happy that you guys are happy. Happy for y'all. Last but not least, Zach and Bliss. I'm so happy for them. I really like Zach's growth in saying that he respects the dad and he understands and he likes the dad, because that shows a level of growth for Zach that I appreciate. I'm glad about that. I love that they joked about Mexico and he was like, I'm taking her on another vacation. Yes, Zach, pay for it, shill them dollar. I didn't realize that I actually had heard of their little wedding song. When it was playing, I was like, oh, I know this song. Cute. Everybody was crying for them. It was beautiful. I know some people feel, that it wasn't fair that he got to still be in the experiment, but hey, whatever was needed for Bliss to get her happily ever after, great. Do I know if they made it all the way? Who knows? There have been different shows on Netflix, like the last season of the American version of Too Hot to Handle, where there was this perfect interracial coupling, and after the show came out and you were checking the Instagram to see if they were still together, they weren't together. Even though they were perfect for each other and all they needed was therapy, it still didn't work, probably because they did not have therapy. I will forever be upset at Jawair and her match, but we're not going to talk about that. Sometimes it doesn't work out no matter how perfect or interesting those people are. So that's just it. I will definitely be discussing the reunion because that's going to be drama and okay? And it was just going to be a shorter video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye, my sires. Susu.